Yeah, is that what you want to do? Hey, kia ora, Helen Brahms here, coming to you live from Claremont, Florida on an absolutely gorgeous Friday evening. Hope you've had a super fantastic sparkling day. I know ours has been, and poor Sephy is in complete play mode. You gonna say hi? No? Okay. All of a sudden, saw me sitting here typing the description for the video, and she's sort of like, I want to play. I'm sort of like, yeah, no, not right now. We can do that and give me a few minutes. So she's now going to pull out every single toy that she has and try and engage me with play. But anyway, how did you do today with your challenges? Now remember, your mindset challenge was all about belief. Balance. Get the brain right. All about balance. And remember, it's not a work-life balance. It is a balance overall. It is your mind. It is a mindset. Balance is a mindset. It's not a do this, and you'll be in balance. It's all about the mindset. I remember we shared that Albert Einstein quote today, which I thought was absolutely brilliant. It's life is like riding a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep moving. Yep, I would agree with that. Because if you ain't moving, you ain't balanced. So how did you do with coming up with, looking at things and, at your health, your family, your relationships, flexibility, your emotions, all of that together, and that all integrate to help you have a balanced life. How did you get on with that today? Shoot me a private message. Let me know how you got on, if you had any questions about it, and we'll see if we can help you out with that. But how did you get on with developing your balanced mindset so that you can move forward and all of that? Then your business one is on processes, and I have an awesome, I had an amazing phone call I think I got off at like about half an hour, no, about an hour ago, I think. I had a call from my Royal Caribbean Business Development Manager. So every cruise line assigns business development managers by regions or however they do it. And so it means that us travel professionals have somebody that's at the cruise line that's there to help us develop our business with that cruise line. And so I got a call from him, and because I had a lot of questions about cancellations that had happened on my Royal Caribbean for Royal Caribbean cruises, cancellations that had happened, and we got talking about the processes and everything, which was a great conversation concerning the fact that our business focus this week is all about processes. So when Royal Caribbean came out on March 6th with their Cruise with Confidence program, they got it out there. They had it was with Royal Caribbean, Azamara, and Celebrity. Those three cruise lines together are part of the Royal Caribbean family. So they brought out this program across all three cruise lines about cruising with confidence, and they brought it out. But then they had brought it out, and then they realized that, this isn't quite going to work. So it's actually been a process of a process. So they have been processing the process as they go along. They keep processing everything as it comes in, all the cancellations as it comes in, or rescheduling people on cruise ships as they're coming in and everything else. And the travel professionals have been tirelessly on wait times and all of that sort of thing, or going in through the websites and that sort of stuff to get this stuff processed. But and I said to my Royal Caribbean Business Development Manager, Vincent, I said, can you imagine what the cruise lines and the tour companies are going to be like after this? He says, what do you mean? I said, well, every business has processes in place for different situations. I said, this is an unheard of situation, never been done before, and every cruise line, every tour company, every airline, every train company, every rail company, everybody involved in the tourism industry is having to look at their processes and now come up with how are we best going to be able to cope with this. And then I said, there's going to be a lot of evaluation going on at the end of all of this. It's maybe even going on and maybe proactively going on as well at the same time, where they're going to be looking at the process they have in place. If this should happen again, what are we going to do? What contingencies are we going to have in place for this? Because this is something that's never been done before. This pandemic never happened before with all the cruise lines, the tour companies and all that. They didn't have a process in place. They're having to create their process as they go along. Now, I realize that in business you can't make contingency plans for every situation, but they've got contingency plans for earthquakes, for hurricanes, tornadoes, all of that sort of thing that's going to affect whether or not cruise companies leaves or tour leaves based on where they're operating out of, as to what weather conditions or what conditions are in that area. Royal Caribbean had to come up with a process when which one was it? Ovation of the Seas was in New Zealand when the White Island had an eruption. They had to come up with a process on how do we deal with this. So it's trying to anticipate all incidences and creating processes for them. It's not going to work because you can't anticipate every contingent, every disaster, emergency, or anything that arises. But what's going to happen out of this, what I see happening out of this is my opinion, nobody else's, my opinion, but what I see is going to happen is that all these cruise lines, tour companies, tour operators, everything are going to be, everybody in the tourism industry are going to be looking at their processes and go, where did we have breakdowns? What did we do to fix the situation? Let's get processes in place. These companies are going to come out of this stronger than when they went into this. They're going to be more prepared. Their processing system for even just taking a reservation is going to be more streamlined than it was beforehand. Their process for doing refunds and future cruise credits are going to be more streamlined than it was beforehand. Every process is going to get an overhaul to it. I know in my business, I'm busy overhauling all my processes. So when we all come back from this and people start booking trips again, my processes are going to be down pat and are going to be more streamlined than they have been in the past. And this is what some businesses are doing this. They're taking this time, excuse me, dry throat. They're taking this time to analyze their business, look at their processes. Where have we been having breakdowns? Where can we create the breakthroughs? Where can we streamline our processes? What processes do we not have in place that we should have in place? So this is an awesome time to be analyzing your business and going through this stuff. So talking with somebody from Royal Caribbean today about an issue that I have with a group cruise was awesome because it brought to light that all of these changes are going to be going on, and there's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to come out of this that's going to make the processes for making reservations, cancellations, changes in itineraries, changing details and all that so much easier and so more streamlined than it was before all of this stuff started. So look at that as a bright note that businesses, those that are taking the time now, we've got this downtime, let's take the time, let's analyze our processes, let's get them running streamlined, because a lot of times, like with this pandemic, processes are being created as we're moving. They're having to change processes and come up with processes on the run. They're being more reactive rather than proactive. So imagine how the processes are going to be once we get all through all this. It's going to be awesome. And then how did you get on with the fun one of dancing the day away? I didn't get much dancing done. I got some fun news to talk about. I just had an awesome day. I didn't get a lot of dancing done. I did get a little bit in, just a little tiny bit. So I hope you got some dancing in. Tomorrow I'm going to get a lot of dancing in because tomorrow I have to do housework. I got to clean the RV. It's going to take me all of 30 minutes. Vacuum, clean the floor, clean the vinyl, my strip of vinyl, vacuum my carpets. I got to go outside and spray all the feet, the levelers, and the hoses and the cables. I got to go spray them all with ant repellent stuff because it needs to be redone. I've been noticing little tiny ants coming in. So it's just been one here and there, and I'm like, okay, we definitely need to go and proof the RV again. And there's sprays that you can get that will last 3 to 6 months, and you just go spray the hoses, spray the cables so they can't climb up those, and you spray the levelers so they can't get up through that way. You spray around the wheels. There's different places that you can spray that will stop them crawling into the RV. So we're going to go do that. It'll be a complete vacuum through, wash the floors, clean the bathroom, clean the kitchen, wipe down all the surfaces with all of our antiseptic, what was it, sanitization wipes and all of that sort of stuff. So yeah, tomorrow's the deep clean. So it might take me an hour instead of 30 minutes because I'm going to do a deep clean. And then we'll go and spray the outside areas where we need to spray to stop the ants coming in. So I'll get lots of dancing in tomorrow when I'm doing my housekeeping. Let's see what else. Oh yeah, last night I got to watch Field of Dreams. Love that movie. Love that movie. It's just one of those real feel-good movies, and it just makes you, it gets you to think, okay, he had these voices telling him, you know, if you build it, he will come, and trying to figure out what it was, and then it sent him on this, basically on this mission, and then to come back to find out that, you know, why he really did build the baseball field. And that's just such a real good feel-good movie, and it gets you thinking about, what dreams have I got, you know, when he's talking with Moonlight Graham, when he's talking with him, and about what his dream was to be able to, stand there at home plate at the batter, Jeeps, I don't know my baseball terms. So standing there at home plate waiting to hit the ball, when the pitch comes and winking at the pitcher just before he starts his wind up. Being able to do that and him being able to actually fulfill that dream. And I thought, there's so many dreams out there that we have that we don't take the time to, what will it take to actually go out there and accomplish them? So take the dreams off the dream board, put the dates on them, set them as goals, and let's go for it. I mean, this pandemic thing is just showing us, how short life really is. And anything can happen at any time. So get rid of it, release the fear, and just go out there and do it. That's your tip for today. Go out there and do it. And then I got to do it's Friday, so we got to do my Super Attractor accountability call with my accountability partner that I'm reading this book with. And today we were reviewing chapter 7, which was all about, and it was a really interesting chapter. It's all about archangels and guardian angels and your spiritual guides who are friends who have passed before you, family members that have passed before you, even teachers that have gone before you, where you had that connection with them, and how they can come back and like I'm reading some of her stories in there about the first time she experienced in that, and I was just sort of like, and it would take me back in time. Like there was one where she talked about the guardian angel. Was it the guardian angel? I think it was the guardian angel. There was a bit in here where she was talking about one of the angels, and I'm pretty sure it was the guardian angel, that wrapped his arms. Hang on, I have it here a second. Give me a second. I'll just find it real quick. Oops, that's the end of the chapter. That doesn't work. There was, guardian angels. Pretty sure it was the guardian angel. Yes. So the guardian angel, she said here during this, one thing it was that she had a traumatic childhood, and this therapy session brought it back up for her, and so one night she couldn't sleep, so she goes out on the couch and she lays down. This is the author of the book, Gabriella Bernstein. She lays down on the couch and she says, as I began to calm down, I felt as though I was lying in a warm embrace. I sensed strong arms holding me gently and warm, and loving energy surrounding me. That, when I read that, it took me right back to when I was 18 years old, and my first grandparent passed away. My mum's dad passed away. It took me right back to that moment where I was sitting in the front row there, in the church. His casket was just in front of me there, and I remember looking at that casket, and I remember that warm embrace coming around me and just feeling that energy of love. And I read that and I thought, that must have been my guardian angel. Excellent. So there was a lot of things that were in this chapter, and as I was talking with my accountability partner, I was saying, they mentioned this happening and that happening, and I realized that, oh my gosh, this is what happened. This could be what happened during that time, because it would take me back, as I read it, it would take me back to that moment where I felt that warm embrace. Like when I was sitting there looking at my grandfather's casket, and I felt that warm embrace, I felt that energy of love. And so I was like, I wonder if that was my guardian angel. And there was a lot of stories that she was telling through here that something would trigger a memory of mine and take me back to that place in time. It's like, that could explain that. So it was one of those type chapters, and learning about archangels and guardian angels, because the only archangels I knew of were Michael and Gabriel. Those are the only ones. But there's Raphael, there's Ariel, there's Jophiel, there's probably said it wrong, Azrael, Shemuel. What else was there? Yeah, and they all have different areas that they oversee and that they're archangels of. So it was kind of cool. But it was a very enlightening chapter. So I'm curious to read more and get into the next chapter of this book. So that was a really cool thing. And then one of my highlights of the day. My highlight for the day was, remember a couple of days ago I was telling you I was helping a friend research her birth father's family because she wants to know more about her heritage and stuff, and how she had a rumor there that she had heard a rumor in the family that her grandparents, so her birth father's parents, were actually first cousins. Well, I was researching it and I said, okay, I cannot find a first cousin link at all. I said there is her father and his mother have the same last name, but it doesn't mean to say that they're related, and I can't find a first cousin link. But then I found a twist. It was one of those like aha moments where you're looking through something, and actually while I was finishing reading this chapter today, it told me to go and check the great grandmother's death notice, because I didn't have the great grandmother's death notice. It told me to go and check that because I'd somehow come up with a link. I had come across a family tree on the grandfather's side of the family where there were these dates that lined up with, hang on, how did this work? Yeah, so on the grandfather's side of the family, there were some dates that lined up in one of the family legs, and I was sort of like, oh, hang on, and I went back and checked some dates and things. I thought maybe they're the same person, because the names were very similar, and sometimes in genealogy some people will switch names around and things, and so I thought, I wonder if they're the same person. And then I was like looking at the relationship going, oh, I wonder, so I let it sit for a couple of days. That was 2 days ago I came up with that theory. And then today when I was finishing reading chapter 7 in Supe Attractor, I heard this voice in here, go check this person's obituary or death certificate. And I was like, okay. So after I'd finished everything else I needed to do, I then thought, let me go check this. So I open up the computer, I get onto the newspaper's website, and I type in the information, and up comes her death notice. And I'm looking at it, and it didn't have her parents listed, but it had a brother and a sister listed. And I was like, okay, that gives me somewhere to go. So I went and added those details in. And so it had enough details in there that I could match them up with another family and see, because some of the names are a little unusual. So it meant that it should be easier to find, right? So I'm starting to do all this, and all of a sudden I'm like, hang on, let me go back and check this previous family. So as it turns out, the grandmother's father is the first cousin to the grandfather. Did you follow that? So her birth father's parents are first cousins once removed. And her father's father is first cousin to the grandmother's father. And other than that, now I've heard of second cousin. I've come across a lot of family trees where first cousins are married, second cousins are married. Have never come across anything where it's been a cousin X number of times removed. Have not come across that, but especially this close with the first cousin once removed. So I thought, well, that's interesting. So a first cousin is also the father-in-law, and then the great aunt is also the mother-in-law. I thought that's kind of cool in a way. Strange, but cool. So I did actually confirm that today, and I was able to tell my friend that, hey, I proved it. This is my theory. I proved it. I couldn't disprove it. I found all the information that I needed to actually prove it. And so we've now got all of that area tied up. So now there's more research that I have to do on some other rumors that she's heard in the family. So we're going to go see if we can prove those. So now we've figured out what the relationship is between her grandparents, her birth grandparents, and now we're going to go figure out the other rumors and see if there's any truth to those. So that was kind of cool to actually prove a theory. I like it when I can somehow the mind just clicks things into place. I like puzzles. And that one just sort of like clicked things into place. It says, here, go check this. And as while I was reading chapter 7, I was reading the portion on guardian angels, and this little voice said, go check this person's obituary or their death certificate, because it'll have the parents' names on there. And the parents' names went on there, but there was a brother and sister on there. So that made the connection, and once I verified everything, it was all done. So that was kind of cool. And now tonight, after this, I'm going to go play with the dog for a little bit, and then we are going to watch, I've never seen this before, we're going to watch Helen Mirren and Ian McKellen in The Good Liar. And this is about, he's a career con man. She's a recently widowed, and she's got millions. And it's meant to be a thriller. And I was reading the back of this, and I thought, well, that sounds really cool, because I love thrillers. But it says here on the back, let's see if I can read it under this light. Let's see. Career conman Roy, that's played by Ian McKellen, sets his sights on his latest mark. Recently widowed Betty, played by Helen Mirren, who's worth millions. And he means to take it all, but as the Sorry, the light's really bad. I'm going to get the right angle here so I can read this thing. But as the two grow closer, what should have been another simple swindle becomes a high-stakes game of cat and mouse in the suspenseful drama about the secrets people keep and the lies they live. Woohoo! I've already got a theory about this, but I'm not going to tell you what it is, because if you haven't seen the movie, I don't want to ruin it in case my theory is correct. But I kind of already have a theory on what some of those secrets and lies are. So it's going to make a really interesting thing to watch. So I'm about to go do that. Have a super fantastic sparkling evening. We will see you tomorrow morning for your challenges of the day. I'm going to go play with Pup for a little bit first, and maybe get some dinner as well. I think I'll have a picnic in the recliner while I watch the movie. Have a super fantastic sparkling evening, and we will catch you guys tomorrow morning. He konera!